the next 12 years, you will be part of the deployment of the next stage of the internet. You will be here for the deployment of the next stage of the internet. The last stage of the internet was deployed in the last 20 years, and it created more value, more prosperity, more wealth, literally improved people's lives more than anything before, okay? So getting through those 12 years is the part that we're really gonna focus on. Are we able to like put the thing up there? Like, I was just kidding about the next week thing. We could do it this week, right? So let's just think about that. What's going on is we're revolutionizing the world. And oftentimes they say that, no, we're literally actually revolutionizing the world. We're revolutionizing how the world works, how value is added to people's lives, how it's shared out to people, how you can participate, and the ability to do that, right? In the old world, you needed governments and lawyers and brokers and financial advisors to actually get to the point where you can make money on your money, right? Where you can generate revenue or wealth while you sleep. What that world did was, you take your heart, first of all, you go work your ass off away from your loved ones, and you go earn this thing called money, which is, if you haven't seen our previous talks, watch them because we explain how crypto and money is actually love. It's just a storage mechanism for love. We spend all this time away from loved ones to go earn this form of love called money. Then we hand it to somebody, let's say a financial advisor, and we go, make sure you don't lose this, and please put it somewhere where it's making money while I sleep. And they go, do you know anything about finances? We go, no, that's why I'm coming to you, right? And they go, great, one sec. I'm going to put your money into places where it makes me the most amount of money. And it'll make you little pennies and stuff, but it's gonna make me the most amount of money. That's why I have a yacht, because I'm a banker. And for that process to happen, you have to be an accredited investor, which means you gotta have $1 million of assets to even have the conversation around investing in some of these things. I know, now you guys are all just gonna read this, you're not even gonna listen to what I'm saying. Don't worry, we're gonna go through that. But it was like, you gotta register in a jurisdiction under a government with a broker and be certified and be accredited so that you can even get to the point of buying these things, which you'll buy probably through a broker who'll take a fee, who'll do it through an exchange who'll take a fee, and a clearinghouse who will let Goldman Sachs know that your trade is happening. So there's this whole structure that's built to bleed you of your money without you realizing it. And if you're like, no, you know what, I didn't give it to that guy or girl to put it into markets, I kept it in my bank. You know? And you think, I got my money because I got it in the bank. No, like the US government is just stealing your money by printing money, right? So the bank isn't a safe place to keep it. Stocks were supposed to be a pretty decent safe place to keep it until the last 6 months happened, and Facebook and Google and Amazon and all these stocks that were like supposedly amazing had a crypto crash, right? And even then, Ketot couldn't do it. Most of the world was kept outside of these value generation mechanisms systematically, right? Because you're not in the right jurisdictions and you can't register. What we're doing with this next stage of the internet is we are hooking up computers together. We call it blockchain, but it's just a new way to hook up computers together to do stuff that's valuable for the world. We're taking all the old ways of doing things, digitizing them and putting them on these computers, and I'll describe a few ways that we're doing it. And then we're letting anybody own pieces of that value generation mechanism, right? Like, let me give you an example. Somebody hooked up a bunch of computers together and said, this computer has an accounting book on it that keeps track of how much money each person has, and nobody can fudge the book. Nobody can fudge the book. Because the banking system that we're used to is a system where the banks hold the accounting books, central banks hold the accounting books, and the banks do. And whenever they feel like it, they're like, hey, just type in some more numbers over there, man. This COVID thing happens, let's just give $10 trillion out. And they just go into a little accounting book and they go, okay, 10 trillion. They just hand it to their friends. And their friends go and spend it on whatever they want, and they buy it all up. And we're over here like, man, I have to work for my money. I spend time away from my kids. My kids grew up without seeing me. And I'm spending the most precious thing I have to go earn this thing. And I'm hoping that I can keep it in an accounting book that's not being fudged. So later on, 30, 40 years down the road, when I'm old and I need to pull that money back out, I need that love to give to myself or maybe my kids, you will have just stolen most of it by just fudging the accounting book, by typing numbers in and giving it to your friends. We don't like that. Somebody came along and went, how about this? We will hook up a bunch of computers together, okay? No one person will run the computers. They'll be running all over the world. All of them will be running the same accounting book. Inside of that accounting book, we'll keep track of how much money each person has. That's it. It's incorruptible. That's called Bitcoin. That's the idea of Bitcoin. It's an accounting book running on computers. We have now, so somebody came along and went, wait, this is a bunch of computers connected together, just like the internet. Let me program them. Let me program these computers to do stuff. That was the idea of Ethereum, and that's what's grown into all these other coins. But it's still a bunch of computers connected together, programmable to do something, and then whatever you do with that computer is the value generation mechanism. So the one we're going to dive into in a big way today is, we realized, okay, mining. Mining is something that has been there since ancient times. It's a seminal function of humanity. We need to pull stuff out of the ground to actually build things and actually, create prosperity. And actually pulling that stuff out of the ground is the moment the value is actually generated. That's real value. But the way it was done was like, a giant corporation comes along, says, we're taking this piece of land. Locals come and say, hey, can you listen? They're like, no, let's clear you, destroy your community, blow up this mountain, put it on trucks, take it to a processing plant, use a bunch of chemicals to pull metals out of the rocks, and then it's too expensive. Let's just dump these chemicals into the water table and restart. That was the world that we come from, We're like, no, let's do it a better way. How about this? And sorry, while that's happening, right, which is making a lot of money, you're pulling out gold and copper and iron and stuff, the money is all going to some wealthy billionaire or a bunch of billionaires together, or millionaires together, who had the money to buy those mines, who had the $50 million to buy the mines, right? And get those kids have to drink the water that they polluted, but the money goes to them, right? So we're like, let's do it a different way, better way, right? Instead of going out and blowing up a whole mountain, the way they used to do it was they used to just dig out little pieces of the mountain where the stuff was, strategically, and process that. Instead of going in there and just shunning the community and throwing them to the side and taking over their lands and destroying them against their own will, let's make them part of the process and have them integrated into the process. Let's do it the way that fits their needs, that helps them. Instead of processing and pulling out these chemicals, or pulling out these metals and then dumping the chemicals, let's figure out a way to recycle those chemicals, recycle the water, so nothing ends up in the environment. I mean, that's all logical. Then let's take this company that's owning these mines and break it up into little pieces called tokens, same way shares have been broken up for companies, and allow anybody from anywhere in the world to buy pieces of this company. No brokers, no governments, no nothing, right? Governments are involved, that they regulate and certify this. But now what happened is mining is still happening. It's better for the community. It's better for the environment. It's actually more efficient to do that rather than blowing up a whole mountain, finding nothing in 50% of it and only some stuff in the rest of it. It is a democratic way of accessing this wealth. And the person who invests into the token, if they stake the token, they get a yield from the token because the mines are making money. We take a piece of that revenue that's coming in and we give it back to the people who are holding the tokens, right? So it's a complete revolution in the way that we think about the idea of mining. But in there is a way for you to make money while you sleep from conscious mining, let's call it, Actually, that's cool. Let's call it conscious mining. I like that, And that's completely beneficial for everybody involved. It's beneficial for the earth, beneficial for the people digging it out, beneficial for the people who are in the area, beneficial for the investors. Plus, it turns it into this crypto token, right? And people come in and they'll buy the crypto token just because it's a token, it's backed by mining, and they'll pump up the prices. So you get the benefit of having a crypto investment while you have the safety of having mining at the back. It's a registered security, so it's actually it's registered with the US government in the same way that stocks are registered. Plus, it's a little bit of DeFi because it actually pays you a return or it pays you a yield or interest or whatever, right? So this is what I'm talking about. There is a new internet being built in front of you, and all the old things are being done in a new way. Like this place, right? Normally, this would have been built in a way, in the old way. Find a bunch of large investors, and they'll invest and they'll take the massive multi-million-dollar risk to build this place, and they'll take 10 years to make the money back. Andre and them, they broke it up into tokens. They broke it up into little pieces, and they allowed people to invest in a way that's more communal. It reduces the amount of risk investors are taking. It improves the ability to be able to bring in people, and everybody has skin in the game, so they function better, right? So the world that we come from is a world where we have a few asset classes, right? It was property. Property was like everybody's favorite asset class, because property is limited, it's reliable, it doesn't go anywhere, and we know the prices go up and to the right, or have gone up and to the right for a very long time. Except for like 2008, and except for like certain times in the industry. That's been a really safe place to keep money for a long period of time. It still is. It's just, it's no longer the way to make money in the way that we used to think of it, right? Because now housing prices are starting to peak. Even just the stress of having to deal with people who are renting from you in and of itself is a full-time job and takes up your time. And so people had residential and commercial, right? Commercial was a great idea until March of 2020, and then it became a terrible idea. Instantly, overnight, right? So the world changed, and people who thought something was safe instantly became stuck because they invested in something where the world shifted. Residential is great, but a lot of people just buy real estate and live in it, and you think that's an asset. That's not an asset, it's actually a liability because it's costing money. We've had stocks, all controlled by brokers and custodians and all this stuff, right? Within that, we've had, this is hard to see, but we have, not just under stocks, but like bonds is an asset class, debt is an asset class, which gives you like nowadays single-digit % of return per year. Some of the bonds give you 3% in 10 years. We're all going to get crazy wealthy there. Or people have like retirement accounts where you put money away and it makes you like 11% per year, and that's a safe way of investing money. We've had commodities. People are like, I'll buy gold, I'll buy silver, I'll buy some other stuff, right? Great, that's a good way to keep money. Not really a way to like generate revenue, but it is a good way to save your wealth or protect it over the very, very long term. We've had revenue streams. Most of the revenue streams that people have is just like, I work. I do what I do. That's my revenue stream, just one. Or it's like I work and I rent out real estate. That's two. And that's as far as we would normally think in the old world. We've had cash, which is a negative return because it actually loses money over time. Now we created a new thing called crypto. It's different than all this stuff. It's a digital asset class. It's digital assets that you can own. And a lot of people are making a ton of money here, but a lot of people are losing their entire house here, right? In this world, most people are very heavily in this range. They're in the property / stocks range. Almost everybody, right? Or cash. Some people are up here. The world we're moving into, you don't just need to be in one, you can be in all of them, right? Like, let me give you an example. So out of these revenue streams, we're looking at, where's the nodes? The mining token, the real earth element mining token that we just talked about. It is a bunch of mines, commodity mines. They're copper, nickel, iron, and gold mines. It's registered like a stock, so it's registered as a security, so it's like a stock, exact same safety with the same regulators. It kind of is property because it's physical mines. It's a crypto because it's a digital token, so it has the volatility of crypto, can have the volatility of crypto, but better because it's combined with commodities. And it's a revenue stream because it's making you a return every quarter, right? So this one thing is adding real world value to people's lives, and it's a combination of all those things, right? What that does is it gives you the reliability and security of the fact that like copper is going to be needed, iron is going to be needed, gold is going to be needed, so commodities, right? Because commodities is real world value. Most of this other stuff is like, right? So it gives you the safety of this, it gives you the regulatory clarity of this, it gives you the reliability of this, it gives you the crazy upsides of this, and then it gives you a reliable income from that, right? So that's how I really want you to think about life going forward, where it's like, okay, when we'll give you this chart, go through this chart and draw it out for yourself, and you'll see you're too heavy in one direction. So what you should be doing is you should be spreading it out across in the different regions, right? So What that does is we have been building these things since last year, right? Times were good, crypto's doing great, everybody seems to be getting rich. You know what we did? We took the cash, so we actually got rich, and we put it into the mines, and we put it into all these other revenue streams, because you have cash at that point. And you know what they're doing now? They're sending us cash back at the time when the market's at the bottom, right? This is what I meant by people are misunderstanding how to participate in this space. You want to structure yourself so that when the times are bad, your safety revenue streams are paying you out cash so you can buy the crypto at bottom barrel prices. When the times are good in crypto, you take profits from crypto and feed it into this, right? Times are bad, your revenue streams feed your crypto. Times are good, your crypto feeds your revenue streams. And when you run this loop multiple times, over time you have these businesses that are all making you money, and they get stronger and stronger the more money you put into them. And you have once every 2 years, once every 4 years, crypto makes you a shit ton of money. Does that make sense? Okay, so now, what's the central point of all this stuff, of this revolution that's going on? It's just a bunch of computers connected together, right? So last time they connected a bunch of computers together, they did stuff that was the old stuff, but they just did it better. Like Uber came along and went, you know what, taxis suck. Having to deal with taxi drivers sucks. I'll just reinvent how taxis are done through this app. I won't own any taxis. I won't need to like run taxis, but we can revolutionize how taxi services are done using this computer system, right? A few other ways that we're helping people is like, there's nodes, right? If these are computers that are running that you can program to do stuff and they're valuable, then you can own the computers, you can run the computers, right? Some people look at like mining, Bitcoin mining or crypto mining. Nodes are that same kind of functionality, but a slightly different way of doing it, right? Or there's literally people playing games. We have Indonesians who we have bought characters inside of a game, and the characters cost like $2,000, $3,000 sometimes, which they could never afford. We bought the characters and handed it to them and said, play this game with this character. And as you play, you will earn tokens for playing with this character and strengthening it. Some of those tokens and payouts will go to the investors, some of it will go to you, and you can feed your kids while the investors make money, right? The investor is sleeping and they're making money. The person who's playing the game is actually adding value by using these characters and is making money themselves. Ketut can now feed his kid, who would have never had access to any of this stuff before. Does that make sense? Questions?
Yeah, how much money are those people making?
It depends. So actually, can you repeat the question on the mic and then answer the question? Because Gozi's one of the people that's helping manage those teams.
Sorry, what was the question? Sorry?
Yeah, the question is for the Indonesians playing the game, how much money are they making on average?
So it depends on how much the market, like how the market's really going on. So, and the hype was basically when it was really, really high. Back then, July, they were earning $200 until $500 per month.
Game.
Per game.
And they can earn.
Yeah,
they can play multiple games.
Yeah, they play like 3 hours per day, and then yeah. So now picking the best game is another story, because now the game token and stuff are already going down. So yeah.
What was the best game?
It was Axie Infinity was the one that the best basically. So it made 2 million players per month, you know, and then daily active players until up to 2 million players. So he was actually also the one that managing hundreds of scholars. So yeah.
So they're earning more than they would earn working a full-time job in Indonesia. They're earning dollars, not rupiah, dollars, right? And they can. Some of them are earning $1,500 a month. That's a Western grade pay for somebody who literally plays games. And some of these games will literally touch a button and do something for 3 minutes. Come back and touch a button and do something for 3 minutes. So you're actually just spending 1 or 2 seconds every 3 minutes of actual time, and they can do this with their other jobs, right? So this is what I mean by the world is changing, the world is revolutionizing. This is what the metaverse is. Everybody's worried about the metaverse once it sticks to your face, but there is a metaverse where we are pulling value from the ether Not even value from either. There's real world value being added to people's lives, which gets translated through the computers and given to people. Okay? That is how you should think about your life. Like, how many ways can I figure out to be able to make money that take the least amount of my time, maybe some minutes of my time, and add on as many of those as I can so that I can participate, so that I can actually do what I love with most of my time, and there's many different ways for me to make money coming in, right? So this all comes out of thinking about this whole process like a cycle, right? You got cash. You put it into crypto. If you're lucky, it went up. Then you know what you do? You reroute it into your revenue streams. Once the revenue streams make cash, you route that into your portfolio. And this could go from here to properties, here to stocks, here to wherever you like, right? What a lot of people do is they'll make revenue, put it into their cash bank account, and spend it. That is the slavery that we've all been living, right? You got to have these loops running. So when you're thinking about these loops, you have to understand how much risk you're taking in each place, right? Like, how much risk are you taking here? Commercial, real estate, bought in New York. One day you were taking no risk. Everybody was dying to buy that. And then March 2020 comes around and guess what? You are broke, right? So you didn't understand the risk you were taking. You think you're entering a market in a world that's changing. How much risk are you taking on residential real estate? Well, Bali could shut down again, right? Or your renters could leave, or the property can change. So as long as you do the risk analysis, you'll be able to understand, okay, I want to take that healthy amount of risk. How much are you taking in stocks? You're giving your money to somebody who holds it for you and promises that they'll give it back to you at some point, and they'll grow it for you. If they don't grow it, they just go, sorry, it was the market. We lost all your money because of the market, right? Plus, hopefully they put it somewhere where it makes you money, not them money. You think like gold. Come on, gold, Sim. There's no risks of holding gold. Talk to the people in the 1930s where the US government just went, owning gold is illegal, and you got to bring the gold into us like that. Or the Russians who had gold in Switzerland, thinking Switzerland's safe, and they went, oh, no more Russians? Great, take their gold. Gone. And if you're like, I don't like this, I want to leave the country, they're like, try it. Try leaving the country with that gold. We'll find you. Put you in prison for trying to leave the country with gold. Crypto. There's no risk in crypto. Crypto's safe. What's the risk of crypto? Okay, wait. Somebody somewhere told me there's some coins being sold that a lot of people got rich from. You know? They're dog-eared coins, they're called Shiba Inu. A lot of people getting really rich from it apparently, and I want some, right? What you're doing is you're entering a space which you do not understand, the same way you did up here. But here the risk is you take your money, you take your own money out of your bank account, you put it into the space which you don't understand, into things that you don't understand, and the people who understand it better than you take all of your money. You know? This is all the lunatics. If you've lost money or if you've invested in Luna, that's what happened to you. You entered a space which you didn't understand, and Wall Street came along and ate your lunch. Okay, wait. So you're telling me the safest place is to keep the cash in the bank? No, that's actually the riskiest place to keep cash. Because when you signed paperwork at the bank that they got you to sign like 6 times, it said you are giving an unsecured loan to the bank. When the bank has financial trouble and is about to go bankrupt, I give you authorization to take all of my money. It's called the bank bail-in process. Okay? It's part of international law in all of G20 countries. Like, if you have a lot of money in the bank, try taking it out. Ask them, like, I'd like my $1 million, please. And they go, whose $1 million? Our $1 million. You gave us the $1 million. If you want your million back, well, let's talk. Let's figure out if you can get access to your money again. Revenue streams. Okay, you got businesses. Let's say you own a restaurant, you got a house, you got real estate in different places, plus you got your business, plus you got some other thing, right? And then the world shuts down. And they just decide the world's going to shut down, your business is not going to work, your real estate is not going to work, the entire space is completely changed. That's the risk we're taking here, right? if we don't even understand that, that's how we're going to lose the most amount of money. Because there's literally only one person who holds the keys. Literally only one person has the ability to lose all of your money. And just look in the mirror, and that's who it is, right? So when you're running this loop, so if you're entering money into crypto, first of all, you better know what you're putting your money into. Because I'll be honest, 60% of the crypto space is a legit custom-built scam. It's built to scam you, okay? It's legitimately, its only function is to be a Ponzi scheme and a scam. Okay, 60% of the tokens that are out there. 30% of the tokens and cryptos, they're not officially a scam. They're not officially a Ponzi scheme. They're trying to do some good for the world. They have ideas, but they're not going to make it. They're probably going to lose all of your money too. Okay, so if you throw a dart at a list of cryptos, you're almost certainly going to lose your money, 90% of the time. 10% of the space is projects that are adding real world value to people's lives. And if you invest in those and you figure out the ones that are actually adding real verifiable value, and you know in the future it's going to add way more value than it does today, those are the ones that actually will last and make sure they don't lose your money and also make you a lot of money in that space, right? The way you can pick those, the way you can pick the ones, answer these questions. What does it do? And where's the money coming from? Those are two key questions, because first of all, when you ask the question, what does it do? Almost certainly, they won't be able to explain it to you. You'll be like, what does it do? They'll be like, we are using decentralized platforms and blockchain technology to revolutionize the throughput of payments in the various sectors. And you're like, what does it do again? They're like, blah, blah, blah. They speak like it's English, but it won't. It's not actually English, right? And what they're telling you is, we don't, bro. What we're doing is we're taking this person's money and giving it to this person. That's the Ponzi scheme that we're in. So then you ask the question, okay, well, what does Bitcoin do? Okay, Bitcoin, this coin everybody wants, what does it do? Why does everybody want it? It's because we have all agreed that it's one of the best ways for us to keep track of that accounting book, right? We've all agreed that, hey, this is an incorruptible accounting book that we can all keep money within, and the bank stealing our money is really hurting us, so it adds a lot of value for us to put our money somewhere where it's valuable. Then you go, okay, where's the money coming from? The money is coming from people who believe in that thesis, who are willing to hold it for a long period of time, who are investing knowing that even though it may be like this, over the long term it's going to protect their wealth and it's actually going to grow it, right? That's where the money is coming from. Great. So if you get in, you take some money out, you know I took somebody's money who put it there knowing that they might, along the way I'll be taking chunks out, but they know if they just keep holding it, they'll add more value to people's lives, okay? When you do that analysis, almost the entire crypto space is worthless. Almost the entire crypto space is worthless. But it's the speculation that pumps it up. And when the speculation pumps it up, we all get exuberant, we all get happy, we all start to participate in a way where we're like, okay, I'll just throw the farm at it. And then the bad times come and we see, okay, which projects are even real and which ones are worthless, completely worthless. Luna looked like it was the best investment ever until it got the Wall Street hacked it properly and showed, hey, this thing's not as valuable as you think it is, right? So my goal has been to find ways to improve people's lives, everybody's life who's involved, make sure we're doing it in a new way where we're not destroying the earth, and then share that prosperity with people. Share access to those mechanisms with people, right? So yes, all of these are those mechanisms. You can play games. I teach. I do consulting for people and I help them build tax strategies or government tenders. We're building stuff here. We have nodes. My favorite one right now is this. REIT. It's called Real Earth Elements, right? And so let's go into the details of that. Can you please pull up the presentation? When you're thinking about investing into things, right? What we're trying to do is we are trying to find things which are valuable to society, more valuable to society than society realizes today, right? Because when you invest from this place, what we're trying to do is, okay, I want to improve as many people's lives as I can in the way that I want, in the world that I want to be built. I want to go give my money to a project by buying their coin, right? And I'm buying this coin because I know this is going to be way more valuable to the world than the world realizes it is today. And if I hold it to that point, the world will pay me for taking the risk ahead of time and letting this thing grow. And at that point, I deserve to be paid because I helped the world. I helped something through the journey to the point where the world benefited from it. And all those people that are benefiting from it are effectively paying me because I was the first one to get there, right? So when we're investing, we want to find things which are undervalued today, but in the future we can see the world is going to wake up to how valuable this thing is, right? In the last 20 years, what we've had is tech was that. Tech has been that, right? Tech took over the world. Investing in tech was like the best way to do it. Now, we didn't realize tech was that valuable until too late. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting in this room. You'd probably be sitting on your private jet. This time around, they're deploying tech in a new way, and we're here, and we get it. Okay, that's one. Secondly, when we started investing in these digital assets and tech and all this kind of stuff, we stopped investing in things that were real. We stopped investing in things that were like physical. Property was one of them, but even property, like my generation's been completely priced out of property, right? People are like, gold, gold's old. Mining, that's old. What are you holding? I'm holding Time Wonderland coin that gives me 80,000% returns. And it's like, what does it do? It gives me returns. Where's the money coming from? The guy coming in after me, right? That's where a lot of the investment went. Even the smart money, the people we call smart money, they're the ones who do this, right? They actually go and pump up all these things. That's why we have all these tech stocks that are valued at like billions of dollars for no reason. It's like Peloton, it's just a bike. Multi-billion-dollar company. Let's pump it up. You know, it's like that bike thing is not actually worth billions and billions of dollars, but they basically pushed all this value and money into those spaces and took it away from real-world value generation mechanisms. If you had got there early and you knew that thing was valuable and that the value was going to flow there, you crushed it. Standing right here, right now, today, those tech stocks have all crashed. And we're starting to see like, maybe these bikes aren't worth billions of dollars, right? Smart money's starting to realize this. So what they're doing is they're pulling out value from those places. So they're pulling out value from stocks. That's what's happening. That's why stocks drop. They're also pulling out value and money from crypto because they're like, there's not much actual value there. It has flowed into things like property. That's why property prices have pumped like crazy. They have also now realized, hey, the dollar is being printed to infinity, so the thing is becoming worthless constantly. So you got to turn it into real stuff, you know? Like a laptop, if I can buy it today, like we just bought a laptop. When we buy the laptop, we know the value that laptop is going to add to our organization. 2 years down the road, that laptop will cost twice as much, right? So for me to turn my dollars into that laptop as quickly as I can is really important. It's an asset, right? What the smart money has realized is, hey, we need to move to things that are real. And we said, pretty much the only things that are real and out of all these asset classes, like real physical things and actually adding value to people's lives, is the commodities and property, right? Those are the two things that are physical. Stocks are not physical. Sure, they invest into companies, but even those companies are, you know, they're digitally propped up to look that way. They don't actually have that much value. So property and commodities. And what's happening now is money is flowing towards the commodities, right? So since last year, if you're holding wheat, if you're holding oil, if you're holding copper, energy, and any real world stuff has gone up in some capacity or has not crashed as hard as the fake stuff. And all the faux pas things have fell off of a cliff. What's actually happening there is the wealthy are transitioning their wealth over to things that are real. So what we're doing is we're like, okay, well, we want the value generation that happens in the real world, but we want to layer this tech on top so that, you know, like we discussed, it's a combination of, you know, taking actual physical mines, breaking them up into little tokens and chunks and allowing people to invest. So it's like a crypto, registering the mines as a security. So it's like a stock, and then paying a yield or a dividend back to the people who are investing. So it's like DeFi. It's a mix of all those things together, right? So that's what this idea is. It's called Real Earth Elements Token. What it is is mines that are running in Chile right now. We have copper mines running in Chile. The longer term goal is to have copper, nickel, iron, and gold mines across the world that we've registered with the government and set up as a token. When you buy the token, first of all, today what you're doing is you're saying, I know the value of this token is higher than what society says it to be. They don't even realize it yet, and I'm going to invest taking that risk ahead of time. When you take those tokens and you stake them, by that it simply means just put them into this like computer system and lock them for some period of time, then the revenue that the mines are making, some of that revenue will be paid out to you in cash. So it's a revenue stream where you make money while you sleep, right? So let's go, can we go to the next slide, please? So this is the important part, right? Like all of this is coming from that belief of being like, hey, we're going to do things differently. We're going to do old things differently. Because I know my generation and our generations going forward are the last hope we have to fix this world, to fix this broken world. So the only way we can do that is to do things differently, do old things differently. This isn't just like, you know, fluff for presentations. This is what we wake up to every day. In the old way, mining was strip mining. It was go into a place, blow up a whole mountain, strip it all out, put it on trucks, and leave the environment like that. Take it to a processing plant where the plant creates pollution, right? It actually processes it with chemicals, and those are really like dangerous chemicals. And then once you're done processing it, dump those chemicals into the environment and let somebody else deal with it. Local communities, nobody was caring about local communities because it's a giant conglomerate. They don't care. The only thing they care about is the billionaires who gave them the money. They don't care about the people on the ground. As a matter of fact, they'll bring in the machines to make sure people are not even involved in the process. Least amount of people are involved in the process. And then the wealth is not accessible to everybody in the world, like we discussed, right? The wealth is only accessible to the wealthy. Crypto, okay, well, let me buy a token. I can't verify how valuable the thing is. There's no like actual verification mechanism. Not backed by anything, and they mostly don't add real world value to people's lives. Even once I buy it, people will come in, they'll manipulate it, they'll scam me, they'll pump and dump it, they'll steal it from my wallet, they'll just figure out 1,000 ways to make sure that I don't actually get to participate. And then even with crypto, it's undemocratic access, right? Crypto, when they launch, try to get a crypto at launch. It's ridiculous. It's such a like toxic big boys club where it's like if you have friends who have friends who have money, then they'll let you have a little piece. And then by the time they give it to us, they will pump up the price, hand it to you, and then just dump the price and take all your money and run away with it. That's the crypto world that we live in, right? That's supposed to be this like decentralized, fair world for us, by us, right? Next, please. So what we're doing with the mining is boutique mining. It's literally going out and picking out the veins of ore from the mountain without blowing up the whole mountain, right? It's regreening the land. Like once we're done with it, we'll actually plant the trees. We'll actually try to grow food for us if we can for the people. Just better that way. And then that's taking care of the people, right? In Chile, people need wells. They need wells to drink water. So we dig them the well. We have excess solar capacity. So we'll give them the solar capacity, or we're trying to give them the solar capacity. We will make sure it's only processed by people who do not dump chemicals into the environment. Long term, we will do it ourselves to make sure we control the whole process and not a single chemical goes into the environment. And then we are giving access to this stuff to normal people first instead of institutions first. Gozi. What this is basically the token itself is backed by the revenue from the mines. It's a fully regulated token. So when you're buying these cryptos and they go, yeah, give us all this money, and you go, great, is there any security around like you running away with my money? They go, no, silly, this is crypto. You know? Whereas with this is like, no, this is a registered security with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and our CEO is a lawyer, and if we step out of line here, you know, if we do something that's not legit, he loses his bar license and people go to prison, right? This isn't like the crypto world. So it gives you the benefit of the old world, but still the freedom of the crypto world. And it's going to be launched in an environment where we're going to make sure that our newer investors especially are protected, right? Because what most crypto projects and tokens do is they will launch it in the big boys club. And I don't even want to say girls. They don't even let girls in. It's just a big boys club. Freaking toxic masculinity up the yin yang. It's crazy. Seriously. They'll launch it, pump up the prices within themselves, and then they'll just release it to the public markets and tell you, hey, it's a good idea to buy this day because we're going to launch it to the public markets. And they leave you to the wolves. You come in with your life savings. You're like, great. They told me this is great. I put my money into it. And then the thing gets pumped and dumped, and somebody leaves with your money, right? What we're doing is not that. We have the mines running. We're registering them. We're turning them into a token. We're launching it on an internal platform where you'll be able to on-ramp cash or fiat or crypto directly into it in a regulated environment, do KYC, do AML, pass all the regulations. Then you'll be able to purchase it. Then you hold it while it's still not on the public markets, as we have more people who are participating in this process. You'll have the ability to sell it to each other, but it's not going to go right to the public markets. And then in 2023, when this exuberance, end of 2023 or somewhere, when the exuberance returns and the money starts flowing back into the crypto markets and it's good times, at that point we'll go to public markets. But even then, we're not going to go like, oh, get in at this price, pump it up to this price, and then launch to the public markets, because we know what people are going to do. They're going to steal your money. So we go from here to like here, and then launch to the public markets. So it's not, everybody's not incentivized to just run away with the money. Okay? So that's protection, and it's fair, and it's secure. Other way. Now, what is the token itself? It is a digitized right to the revenue from mines. That's one. Okay, I'll beat that horse dead at this point. The second thing it is a way for you to participate in the purchasing of mines. So like we'll have 50 million tokens that'll be actually issued at the beginning, but 70% of them are actually locked up, right? And the only way we can issue them, and by issue I mean like launch them and release them to the people, is we have to go to people and say, hey, we have these mines, or we have this processing plant, or we have these trucks that will add value to what you've invested in, right? If we get more trucks, more copper being pulled out of the ground, more value to you, that means more cash comes into your bank account, right? We have this verifiable way to add value to this umbrella. We'd like to issue tokens and take that money and go buy the mines and put them under this token, right? And investors speak with money. So they go, okay, yeah, cool, I'll buy those tokens. And that's the only time we're allowed to issue the tokens. We issue tokens and we buy mines with the raised capital, or trucks, or whatever is efficient. But it's a two-way street where you're part of that process. The internal OTC exchange is going to be easily accessible to everybody, except for the Chinese. But other than that, everybody. Okay, anybody from the world will be able to invest $1. And it's not because we have something against the Chinese. Okay, regulations just make it so that you can't invest in stuff. And it's a registered security. So it gives you literally the regulatory protection that comes with registered stocks. And the security is just a stock. Okay, that's what the actual token is. Can we go? Now, this way of mining, minimal impact on the environment. As a matter of fact, we're trying to reverse as much impact that we can have, right? Working with the local communities makes it so that it's a mutually beneficial relationship. One, we're hiring more of the locals to work with, because this process requires more people to actually go out and find the veins. See, people have mined like this for thousands of years. We just came in and we're like, we know a better way of doing it, let's blow up the whole mountain. We go back to that way of doing it and we work with as many people as we can. Gives people jobs, makes them feel part of the process, and gives you purpose. But also then those same people can buy the tokens. The same people who are working in mines, who could never own a mine, who could never benefit from the prosperity of a mine other than their job, can now own a piece of the token or piece of the mine and actually be making money while they sleep. So wealth can actually go back to the person who's at the front. And we're using renewable energy as much as possible. Like, we can't make trucks that run on solar yet, but everything else we're using renewable energy. Solar, we're setting up solar farms on site. So I'm going to hammer this one home again. This is not a joke. Our service to Mother Nature is not a joke. When we're saying we got to change this world, it's by living it for the rest of our lives. So this, reforesting land, processors that don't dump chemicals, extracting resources in the right way with the least amount of impact, working with communities, these aren't just things to just like say and get money. These are things to live by, and we do that. And if you're coming on this journey with us, those are the only people we want on this journey with us. We have so many institutions, so many big players who are like, great, we'll do the same old way of doing it. We'll give you the money, but then you're beholden to us. We're like, no, thank you. We'd rather do it with people who like trees, right? Hug trees, tree huggers, tree huggers. Now, this whole space, this commodity space, is exploding. Simply because, like we said, the money that was in these like financial products, not really adding value to people's lives, it can't go back to the dollar, because the dollar is losing money anyway. It needs to go to real stuff, and commodities are going to be the beneficiary of that. Now, the other thing is the entire world is moving to green tech, and green tech has this stuff inside of it. Green tech cannot exist without commodities, without copper, without nickel, without partially gold, iron, right? The demand is ridiculous. But rather than me saying it, let's have an expert in the space explain this, okay? Because, like we said, you want to get to places before the big money gets there, right? How do you do that? How do you know where big money's going? They're not constantly going around being like, we're big money, we're going here, right? But there are people who are connected into those networks who are telling you what they're doing ahead of time, right? So this will be one of the things that one of these weeks we'll pull it up and then it'll be functional. But that's what we're doing with this, right? We're moving our wealth to places where it's like, okay, well, crypto's pretty hot. Bring in crypto a little bit. Stocks are good, bring that in. Commodities are great, let's bring that in. DeFi's nice, but I just want real yields, not these like, Luna 20% fake yields. So we've combined those together to be this product. So we'll circle back to this. Can you please go to the next page? So what we have right now is we have 1,100 hectares of land with verified mines already on there, right? The other thing we do is we don't go out and just buy a piece of land and be like, we hope there's copper here. Let's spend millions of dollars trying to figure out if there's copper here. We go and buy mines that somebody's already done that work and spend all this money, but they went broke because of COVID. We then come in and go, okay, well, we're going to take this land from you that has verified sources of copper on there in certain areas, and we're going to deploy this new model on it, right? We already have 3 copper mines running on that location with the aim to have about 20 more running within the next 2-ish years. And then Philippines is another jurisdiction where we're ready to buy mines in. Indonesia is already in discussions with us for us to collaborate and bring this model to here. They're very interested because they're like, it's a way for them to bring money into the country, for us to bring money into the country without giving away the ownership of the assets. They love that. So the long-term goal is going to be hundreds of mines running in hundreds of jurisdictions. Hundreds is a lot, like many, many jurisdictions. And what we've done is we've already raised $300,000. The tech is already being deployed. The registration's already being done. The system is up. The operations is already running for the token side of things, and the mines have been running the whole time. They've been profitable the whole time. Okay? Are we good? So again, move your money to the place that smart money is moving their money before smart money moves their money. And this word smart money, it often triggers people. When we say smart money, what we're referring to is people who understand this game, right? They're no smarter than you. You are smart money too. You're sitting here in Ubud on a Wednesday at 4 o'clock. I think you got life pretty figured out. So you're smart enough with money, but let's learn where smart money is moving the money before they do it. Who is we?
Who's actually buying the mines? Who owns the mines?
This is a great question. So the question is, who is we? Who owns the mines? And who's buying the mines? So the mines were first bought, these mines are bought by our CEO, Jason, who you'll get to have AMAs with and discuss stuff with. He is a Bitcoin miner who got a bunch of money from Bitcoin and Luna, actually. He invested money into Luna, took profits and went and bought mines. speaking of, taking value from crypto and going buying real stuff with it, he went and bought mines. Then on the ground, he hired the best people he could in the local jurisdiction to make this process function. This strategy was built by this man here, Anthony, who has decades of experience in the commodities markets, worked with Dow Jones and worked with all the bankers and all this stuff. And he came up with this idea of like, hey, there's a new way of doing this that's more efficient, that is not as capital intensive. It gets better results and it's better for the earth. So when we say we, it's actually Anthony who came to me with this because they realized I'm tokenizing assets in the world. Jason has been the original owner, but he's now going to be putting this into the umbrella of this. So that's who we is. And now we are, right? Now we are buying the mines.
So we actually own the mine.
No, you do not own the mines. You own the right to the revenue from the mines, right? Because when you register a security, it has different rights. It has ownership rights, it has dividend rights, and it has governance rights, voting rights, right? When you own a share of a company, that's how it's supposed to work out, right? With this system, you don't own the mines. The umbrella owns the mines, right? Like RE owns the mines. You own the right to the revenue from the mines. That's the official right, but you don't own a governance right either, right? So it's not ownership of the mines. And this is also why this is so conducive, because if we go into Chile and we say we want to own your mines, they're going to go, get in line. Everybody's here to own our assets, and we're sick of you guys owning all of our stuff and taking all our money away, right? So we're like, no, you guys will own the mines, and we'll bring you money. Just pay us some money. And they went, great, that's exactly what we've been looking for. Keep our assets in the country. You don't deserve to own our stuff. Our people should own our stuff. You bring the money to our people, and we'll pay you for that process.
But you said the CEO actually he bought the mines, so he actually owns them. And he's American.
Yes, so he bought the mines, and he owns the mines for now. They are, and I'll let Anthony explain this with a mic. Do we have a mic, guys?
Hi.
Top. Yeah, no, the other side, right there. Yeah.
Originally, Real Earth Elements was to operate the mines, but Real Earth Elements is a tokenization platform, as a matter of fact. It's a project. So the mines are owned now, legally, by Cryptic Pacific Minerals, which is a mining company we registered in the United States. And we have a Chile subsidiary because, for legal reasons, we don't want people to be exposed to whatever issues might come up if we tokenize other products. For example, there's discussion of tokenizing a beer company. Real Earth Elements is for mining. So we don't want anything to go wrong with any of the tokenization platforms. So we put a process in place, and we have now registered the name Digital Tokenization Solutions. That's the platform that Real Earth Elements sits on. So Digital Tokenization Platform Solutions will be the tokenization platform. Real Earth Elements is the project for mining. And let's say we do...
So that's who owns the mines, right? Real Earth Element, the project, is the one who's going to own the mines.
Actually, no. Real Earth Elements is the project that is contractually obligated to pay the people that invest in Real Earth Elements tokens. Because let's say 2 years down the road, when we do tokenize the beer, you'll have an opportunity to invest in that beer, but beer is not exactly a Real Earth element, and we don't mine it, so we don't want people to...
Wait, but who owns the mines? That's the question. Who owns the mines?
Cryptic Pacific Minerals
Great.
owns the mines.
And is contractually obliged.
Which is contractually obliged to pay Real Earth Elements stakeholders dividends on profits every quarter.
It's like a company who owns the mines.
Actually, on the ground, the mines are still owned by the Chileans. Right?
No, we have some mines that we have partnered with Chilean owners, and we have lease agreements as well. But to kick off things, we had to make sure that we controlled the mine, because we have to make sure that we can get the best operations going, get the best ore, etc. So Real Earth Elements doesn't own the mines. Real Earth Elements is a project that partners with mine owners. When we come to Indonesia, for example, we will be bringing the solution to local miners who then don't have to give up their assets, as you said, but we bring expertise, we bring criteria. They have to be able to work with us to mine in a green or a respectful way. They have to have relationships with the locals that make sure that they're not being taken advantage of. They have to agree to replant trees. They have to agree to use solar, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, Real Earth Elements is the project that is contractually obligated to pay the investors.
You know, ownership is the problem.
So like it's the same like Indonesia. When you go, like you can have like let's say,
Can you pass on the mic?
like if I understand correctly, like same in the Indonesia, when you like there is like in a way nobody can have a own a land here. You can lease for 20 years, 50 years or 100 years that have a different terminology. And then maybe there is a so as I understand, there are local people who already own the mine. There is a company, Real Earth Elements, who partnered with the local people and then have the operational rule under in that umbrella, and that company can also oblige to pay the investors according to their investment.
Yes, and we will only partner with people who are following this way of doing it, that are doing it in a clean way, that are not destroying the environment, that are all this stuff, right? So it's a methodology, it's a system. But the contractual obligation is what allows it to have that partnership, right? And so that, do you have something to add?
Go on.
No, he's done. Yeah. Did you have something to add?
Yeah, I've gone blank now.
Okay.
It'll come back.
So, pardon? Yeah, we'll do Q&A, but it's nice to have these in the middle too, somewhere along the way, right? So people, it's good to get that out. But that the world we come from is that world. Our parents wanted to own everything. I want to own the world. And guess what it did? Destroyed the entire world, because we're constantly going into other countries and buying their stuff and taking it from them. Right? The Indonesians woke up to this early. They're like, no, you're not going to come to our country and buy our country and own it and keep it. Then what? We don't own anything? You keep us poor? No, thank you. Our people will own the stuff. You can rent it from our people. You can lease it from our people, right? And that the world we're moving into is ownership is pointless. Like, I don't need to own a car. I have a car that comes and picks me up and drops me off, and efficiently then goes and picks somebody else up and drops it off. You know, I don't need to own real estate, everybody live in it. I just press a button, Airbnb, and I go live in whichever real estate I want for however long I want, and then I hand it back to the people, right? So this idea of ownership is in and of itself one of the things that we're trying to solve. We don't need to own it. We just need to change the way that we're doing things and allow everybody to benefit from it. And it contractually be obliged to be like, oh, the owner can't just run away with the mine and sell it or whatever and steal people's money. No, that's the benefit of having this as a registered security, right? It protects against those kind of things because they are legally, officially obliged under the country's laws to not screw over the people who are doing it. We're the same way. The mine owners are the same way. Everybody's the same way. Yeah. Can you hold the mic up?
Because Real Earth Elements is actually dependent on this company that actually owns the mines. So if something happens to them, then what happens to all the investors?
Sorry. The question is, Real Earth Elements is contractually signed with the mine owners.
Yeah, like they're the big boss, right?
I guess we don't really have big bosses. Like, somebody owns a mine, you own the mine, you keep owning the mine, right? Somebody else owns another mine. Somebody else in another country owns another mine. If one of those mines goes offline, we got 100 other mines, right? So this is important. This is an important part of understanding the risk of investing in this process. When you're investing right now, what you're investing in is the mines that we already have functional. right? With the money we raise further, we're going to go and buy more mines and split that jurisdictional risk. So if the person tries to run away with money, they can't. If they try to go to the government and go like, I'm going to sell this mine to somebody else, the government goes, yeah, but you have this contract. You owe it to these guys. You know, if they try to take our money and run away with it, they can't, because we're not just handing them the cash like, hopefully this works out. We're actually partnering with them to deploy the capital in the way that we see most effective for the people who are involved in the process, plus the earth. I'll let Anthony answer this in a more.
Also, it should be understood we were miners first. Allowing people to participate in that mining process or participate in the profitability of the mining operations that we have, I think is just a beautiful way of spreading the wealth. That's one. Two, we don't need to own the mine in order to deploy real earth elements as a platform or a project for other mining organizations.
Or a system.
Let's call it a system. But what's important to us is those that we partner with are doing so in as ethical a way as possible and as profitable a way as possible, and the investments into real earth elements help them to become more profitable. In addition to that, the price of the token eventually will move against market conditions. Copper is a winning commodity, as is gold, as is nickel, as is iron, because we're moving into the green technology, which needs all of those things. And lastly, it just so happens that the people who operate Cryptic Pacific Minerals are also the people that currently are operating real earth elements. It's in our best interest to do our best efforts to make sure that with the assistance of the investors in real earth elements, we expand and make more profitable our operations wherever we go.
Thank you. So we finally got the video up. Where is the smart money moving the money? Let's hear it from the smart money. This guy, his name is Raul Paul, one of the greatest analysts within crypto and outside of crypto, macro analysts. He lives in Caymans with all these people, and he advises them on what to do with their money. And I mean hedge funds on what to do with their money. Let's see what they're talking about. Okay.
technology investors.
And it is. Leave it on this, and we'll turn it on again after. all the wealthy people want commodities, technology, and crypto. So you know what we did? Married it all up into a nice little package. We're getting there early. We're buying it before they buy it, so that by the time they come and buy it, you know whose money we're making? Where's the money coming from? Their pockets. Not from our pockets. We're not stealing from each other. We're adding value in a way where we know this is a mechanism that the world hasn't woken up to yet. It's a completely new way of doing things. That's why traditional miners don't even get it. That's why, people always ask, who has the mining experience? This guy does. He's from our team, Connor. He's actually a miner. He's mined things on the ground. When we explained this to him, he was like, wow, that's genius. Because the traditional miners are like, how come nobody's ever thought of this? It's because we're marrying technology, crypto, and mining together with the ethos of what we want the world to be like in the future. And we're getting there early so that later on when the smart money flows into this process and they wake up they're already awake to it, but by the time they start deploying their billions and trillions of dollars into these markets, we're there early, right? So that process is already underway. The technology is already being built out. By November, we're going to be launching this token on this internal platform only to investors who are invite only or part of this community who are on this, who have the right vision with us. Between that time and the end of 2023 is going to be the process of bringing in these institutions who are interested, but they're going to make sure they pump up the token value after we get access to it in whatever way I can, whatever way that we can facilitate. And for the next 5 to 10 years, the world is going to move towards a direction where the money is going to go into things that are real value generation mechanisms, right? So Chile produces 34.7% of the copper in the world. It's a desert that has a bunch of copper there. The people that are there had no jobs because the mine shut down and they have no way to feed their kids. And they can't grow stuff. We came in and we're actually helping them feed their kids. Next. Philippines, same thing. Has a huge amount of copper, has a huge amount of iron. We have things already lined up. In Philippines, we're going to be doing the same thing, but also regreening the land. Because Chile, we can't really regreen the desert, but we will try to do our best there. In other jurisdictions, we'll actually regreen the land. Cozy. Right here, baby. All right? This is how it works. This is exactly how it works. The price of the commodities we're digging, the efficiency of how well we're digging it out, and the number of operations that we have running determine how much money is made in the mines. That's a pretty simple process, right? Price of copper goes up, the amount of dollars go up. We dig it more efficiently or we process it more efficiently. If we process the raw ore, the value goes up 50 times. Plus, we know it didn't hurt Mother Nature. As we buy more mines, all of this exponentiates. This creates profits, mining profits. Some of those profits will be added into the token umbrella. Right now, we're projecting between 9 to 16% of the total profits coming from these mining operations will go into the umbrella, into the token umbrella. Some of it will go to Mother Nature, to the earth, to people, to initiatives where we're reforesting, working with the communities, donating, cleaning up beaches. I don't know how many things we can do, but ideally some of that value is going to be looped back to actually create other change in the world. Then the rest of the money goes into the staking rewards pool, right? So let's do real numbers. Let's say 10% of the profits are going over. Let's say $10 million is coming out of the mines. $1 million is the mining profit for that quarter. That goes in here. We donate some here, but let's say 1.1 million comes out and 100,000 gets donated and $1 million is left as staking rewards. You take that amount and you divide it by the number of tokens that are issued on the markets, right? So let's say we have 10 million tokens. $1 million is coming out this quarter. There's 10 million tokens. You divide the amount by the tokens, and that gives you 10 cents per token that can be paid as a yield to whoever's staking the token, okay? Then, depending on how much you've staked and how long you've staked it for, and staking is just this idea of like locking up a certain amount of value in a certain place for a certain period of time. So how much you've staked and how long you've staked it for determines how much of that 10 cents you get paid per token, right? If you've taken, you've taken $30,000 and you staked it for a year, that means you'll get 65% of that 10 cents per token paid out to you. Does that make sense? You'll get 6.5 cents per token paid out to you for holding the tokens. If you stake a large amount, like 400,000, and you stake it for a year, you will get all 10 of the cents that are accrued per token. So what's going to happen is a lot of people will have their stuff staked, some people will not. Whatever extra money is left that isn't paid out here, we're going to go to the market and buy our own tokens back, right? Because there's money being generated, there's value being generated. If it's not being given to the investors, we are going to go and buy the tokens off the markets to reduce the number of tokens on the markets, therefore increasing the value of the token. Because less there is, the more valuable it is, right? Does that make sense? And provide liquidity, yes. Like that is the idea of us providing liquidity to the markets. Liquidity, we're pumping money into this market to make sure, if you're somebody who's like, well, I'd like to leave, okay, great, we'll buy the tokens off of you, so you can leave, right? We only issue new tokens when we have more mines to buy or more efficiencies to add, that we can verifiably show you, hey, if we deploy this much money in this space, it'll increase our efficiency this much or increase our yields this much, so it's verifiable value, right? More mines, more efficiency, more commodity prices, more yields. Okay. This is how the tokens are going to be allocated. 70% of the tokens are not issued. Right off the bat, 70% are not being released to the markets. We're only releasing, so these are the percentages. We'll send you the detailed overview of this, but this amount that's being issued is going to be this initial stage until the launch, where we release a certain number of tokens, get all the investors in, some goes into development, some goes into overhead, some goes into a few other things, single digit percentages go into that, and the team only gets 6% of the tokens, which are locked up for 2 years and we can't touch them. Even after the 2 years, I'm not planning on selling this thing because I want a revenue stream that makes me money while I sleep. And the rest of the tokens will not be issued to the markets. They will only be issued when we have some verifiable value to add to the markets. Even these initial issuance tokens, beyond this 300,000 we've raised, every penny is going to go towards the mining, right? Yeah, it's funny. The term that comes up all the time is like, we're miners. You know, I'm a tech guy, so I'm like, they're like, we're miners, we need trucks. Give me trucks, I'll give you more money. And I'm like, great, I like that, real world value, you know? And this is gonna be the use of the funds here. So 30% to asset acquisitions, 30% to operational, 15% working capital. 15% right now is slated for technology development, but we've made that much, much more efficient. So probably single digit percentages is gonna go into that, and then licensing and compliance and expansion. So, yeah, there we go. This is the plan. This is the roadmap. This is how it's looking. We've already completed the pre-seed round, and the seed round is going right now. The mining operations are already in full swing, but they will be they'll be at capacity, or we will have expanded them by November by deploying this money that we're raising and making them more efficient. By November, by November, we want to launch the exchange within our system. So this is also where it's different, right? This isn't like, oh, go into Binance, on-ramp your money, turn it into some weird coin, put it here, transfer it there, hopefully you don't lose it along the way. If you have crypto and you want to invest crypto, at that point you'll be able to invest crypto directly. But it's simplified for the normal people. So you just go to a website, sign up, invest, do KYC, know your customer, anti-money laundering verifications, send your own money to your own platform, click a button and buy it yourself. And then take the tokens and put them into your own pocket, right? You don't even have to go through the crypto route because that in and of itself is a headache for people. After that point, once the system's live and that platform and the staking platform is running, if you stake your tokens, you will get paid dividends every quarter. Every quarter, some of that revenue is going to be paid out to you. Then we're even in this process, we're issuing just the tokens that are at launch. But between the launch and the actual public launch of this token, we will issue more tokens when there's more mining assets available. At this point, almost certainly I will not be able to keep institutions at bay because they wait for this kind of development to happen and then they just eat the whole thing up. But even then, we're going to make sure there are institutions and people who are aligned with this vision. Thankfully, the big money is also waking up to this process, and they're conducive to this social investing kind of thing. We're going to issue those tokens. By issue means release it to the public, public invests, go and buy more mines, go and buy more trucks, make it more efficient, rinse and repeat. And then somewhere at the end of 2023, we're going to actually launch this to the public markets. We're going to release it so that the public can buy and sell it, and they can make the prices fluctuate. By that time, the internal rounds will be done, and it'll be just completely public. There won't be any private stuff. And then by the end of 2023, we will be launching this on top tier exchanges, your Coinbases and your Coinbases. Does that make sense? So this is what we've done. 300,000 pre-seed is done. 1.7 million for the C round is being raised right now. That's about 10% complete. The next rounds are going to be the ones where institutions come in, and then the secondary markets is going to be the launch to the public markets, right? The way people are participating in this round, beyond just the put money in and invest money and you can make money once the yields start getting paid out or the token value goes up. If you have $0 today, if you just understand the value of this and you align with our goals, and there's other people who you know, hey, they don't want to lose their money sitting in the banks, they don't want to put it into stocks, they may not understand that this is a valuable place to move their money to. If you help them invest, we're giving a commission back to you for helping them invest. Remember I said, I'm going to show you a way to make money with $0? This is it. It's a real Earth Elements affiliate system. Anybody you bring in who invests, 7% of that goes back to you. It can go back in cash or it can go back in tokens. It's your choice. This is our CEO. He is, when I invest in things, I don't invest in projects. I don't invest in ideas. I invest in people. Because what makes the difference is, are the people actually capable of executing the thing that they're saying they're going to do? It often comes from experience, but it also comes from an understanding of how to run an operation. This guy is an attorney. He's worked for many different startups, but he was the 31st employee of eBay and ran whole data centers and deployed technology. And running an eBay data center is a multi-thousand person workforce that you have to align and make them function. He's also ran Bitcoin mines, he's ran physical mines, and just the way he does things, for me, was like, I've worked with a lot of people, I love it, because he gets it done, right? Next, please. I don't know who this guy is. Anyways, this is Anthony. This whole process is the process of taking technology and making it human. These are the humans that are doing it. These are the humans that are doing it. With hearts, with souls, with care, with experience in the commodities industries, trading industries, markets, connecting together brokers with different commodity resources and other resources. He's worked for Dow Jones as an analyst. Like, that's about as good as it gets. Dow Jones is the market where all of this is traded in the first place. And he's a cool guy. He's all right. And this is me. I have now actually more than 11 years of experience in the crypto markets, and I have not lost money in the crypto markets. I have consulted crypto projects. I developed this as a system because I could see the vision of that. The real next step in crypto is the real world being digitized and put into the crypto space. I've built many successful companies. I've taken them to fruition. I've set up operations, and I'm all right too. But this is what it is. We have expertise in all of these spaces. Now, if somebody tells you I'm a tokenization expert, they don't exist, because this idea just came out yesterday, right? As a matter of fact, people who tell you that they're experts in the space are probably not the experts. I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who's been here longer than you probably, but I'm learning along the way as well, right? And that's it. That's the idea. So, how do we change the world? Like that. Find stuff that you see wrong, figure out a way to fix it, pick it up, spend the rest of your life doing it, bring along people who are on the same mission as you, and do it, and change the world. Okay? So we'll open it up to question and answers at this point. No, just keep it.
First,
No,
let's have a
please
clap.
don't clap. Please don't clap.
First, have a good clapping. Such a great presentation. Simple question: how to buy? How to participate it?
Great. So right now, because the system isn't live, pre-launch tokens are bought using a system called a SAFT, a Simple Agreement for Future Tokens. That agreement says that you are investing into this project, and the agreement promises back a certain number of tokens at the price. Today's price for the token is 38.4 cents, or $0.384. $0.384. If you want to buy, you can go to our website. Can we pull up the site, please? excellenceconsulting.co. You can go to our website, you can click invest, and then there's an option to be able to purchase with the number of tokens, and that's the request to purchase. And then our team reaches out to you, make sure that you're regulatorily compliant, and then gets that agreement signed from both sides, and then when the tokens launch, we'll transfer the tokens to you. And after that, the money is transferred, depending on which country it's coming from, to different locations.
So right now it's just a KYC and the agreement sign up between the both parties, and then when you transfer the token, then I need to pay, or I need to pay right now to you.
You got to pay right away.
Yeah,
because this whole thing is first come, first serve.
Okay.
So you can sign the token and send it later if you want, but we can't lock an allocation for you.
Okay.
Right?
So that's mean that we sign the agreement, then I will pay the money, and then you will just allocate me the price and the token number, and then when it's launched, then you will send me in my crypto wallet or something.
Even more than that, when the system is live and launched, you will go onto the exchange, you'll sign up, you'll verify yourself fully, and then the tokens will be transferred to you in the system, and then you have the choice to take it and put it on the in a wallet or somewhere else. If you need help doing that, we can help you, but effectively you're the one doing all that stuff with our help.
And do you have any offline support or something like this? Like, let's say if something mistake happen or something else happen.
We have actual people. Luckily, this is a crypto project where there's actual people that you can talk to that live here, that are permanent, that this front row is full of them, right? And then on the other side, there's people running the project, and then there's people mining the stuff on the ground. It's people. Yes, we have offline support.
Yeah, because that's very
I love how you
important
said
right
that.
now.
Yeah, it's people. We got people. We have actual people that you can talk to, and we guide you through the whole process. So that's actually one of the things that we were doing the whole time. We're helping people understand how to participate with crypto separately of all this. That's what I do. So that kind of support, the white glove support of going right from understanding to investing to getting the tokens to all that stuff is provided along the way. And even more than that, we're going to have meetings, regular meetings, in-person meetings and Zoom meetings and recordings that you can attend, you can learn more, you can follow along on the progress. We're going to be giving digital reports of the progresses anyway. We're going to have events, because why not? Just have some fun. So you can join along with people and see other people's experience who are going on the journey and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
No worries. Yeah, so we do have like a Telegram community already where you can join, and that's
how
yeah, exactly. So we'll post all these links in there. Those communities are going to get the priority access to all this stuff, because these are people who've been on this journey with us for a long time, and they've understood this process and actually contributed to it. So that's where we're going to put the links to invest. If you want to sign up as an affiliate, if you're like, I don't want to invest, I just want to sign up as an affiliate, same thing. On the website, there's a section to sign up as an affiliate. You go in there, verify, sign up, and then you get a link for being able to, if somebody clicks the link and then invests, you track it yourself, and then the commissions will be paid out to you. And the commissions will be paid out as we go, not like way down the road, right? This is the website. So it's excellenceconsulting.co. If you just go, you can go to the home screen, or you can go reinvestment. Both of them have this. Let's just go to the home screen so it's simple. Let's scroll down a little bit. Thank you. Right here. If you hit invest, and scroll down a little bit, please. It's not going to charge you right here. You select the amount that you'd like to invest, or a combination of these to come up with something. Or if it's custom, if you're like, I'd like to invest $43.66, reach out to us, we'll manually do it for you. But You select the amounts that you like to invest. Let's say 50K. Can you select 50K, please? Buy now.
And this token number, it shows that with the price.
Yes. It says 50,000 divided by 38.4 cents equals that many tokens. Yeah. And that will be reflected on the SAFT agreement. It'll say that number of tokens. You enter all your information. We're not going to do that right now. You enter all your information. You hit purchase. You hit next. It won't charge you anything. Purchase. And that'll be the trigger that sends a message to our team to say, hey, reach out to this person, and we'll facilitate this process in a individualized manner. If you're somebody who wants to just be an affiliate, can we go back to the home screen, please? Let's scroll down. Not too far, right here. So Real Earth Elements affiliate, sign up as an affiliate. You can click that, enter all your information, you'll sign up, we'll verify and approve you, and then you will get a link. So all of this is gonna have its own videos. I don't wanna go too deep into this. We're gonna be doing video tutorials on how to do all this stuff, and we'll paste it so it's easy for you to follow along. If you need help, of course, we're always here to do that for you. Great question. Thank you. We got a question back there. Can we get her to the mic? Oh, sorry.
And once we get the tokens, then
Yep.
we have the opportunity to stake them as well. And
Yes.
is there a minimum time to stake?
The minimum time was on the list, so you can do month to month. Can we go back to the presentation, please? Yeah, presentation. Go back to the. Right there, that one, this one. Yeah. The minimum time to invest is 3 months. Stake is 3 months if you want to stake, or you don't have to stake. You can just keep it month to month, which is every month it gets restaked, and you can pull it out whenever you like in the process, right?
Hello. Yeah. Thank you very much for your presentation. And my question is about your financial projections. So what is rate of investment, let's say 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Well, what price you expecting? And
We can't say those numbers because we're regulated, so we can't make promises.
yeah, but you probably have an internal financial calculations which you are not allowed legally to share with your shareholders. What?
We can
What's
get you that if you sign an NCNDA with us, and we can get you that information. It's just legally, because this is a registered security, we can't promise returns to investors.
About talking about that, by the way. So what is the procedure legal? Let's say everything goes wrong, yeah?
Sorry, let's say
Let's say everything goes wrong. Let's imagine. So what's the legal procedure of reimbursement of your investment?
everything. I didn't hear what. Like,
What's
let's
the
say-
legal procedure
Oh,
of...
everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens in crypto when everything goes wrong? What's the legal proceeding?
No, specifically with retoken, what happens? Let's say you go to Cayman Islands as well, and
Yeah.
then with all the money of the company, right? So
Yeah.
what's the process of reimbursement? I believe you are registered in United States, right?
Yes.
So what's I go like as an investor, I go to United States court, make a plea, and so et cetera, et
No,
cetera.
you just sue the people. through
Yeah,
the government,
yeah,
Right. You say
okay.
like you guys fraudulently took my money. Like if the world shuts down and like everything goes to shit and it's nobody's fault, that's a whole different conversation.
No. So
But if-
answer is I'm going to American court, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
understood that.
Yeah.
Also, this is right slide. So this is 10%. This like left blue
Yeah, over
circle.
here.
10%. What's 10%? So basically, the mine has its own rate of investment, right? So you put in $1, and then after 1 year, let's say you have how much? Is it possible to disclose that information? What is the
Like
rent
how
of?
much is it going to grow after 1 year?
Yeah. What is the rent of investment of the mine itself? Let's say copper mine.
I can't understand what you're saying. Like what is the?
What's the potential revenue of the copper mine, say, after a year?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Would you like to answer that question? It depends on how many trucks you have.
So, but you're making projections.
Right? Give me 1 million trucks and I will give you millions of dollars of revenue.
But you have any after okay.
Yeah, we can't make projections. This is where like
No,
the
you
crypto
can
world,
make projections. You just cannot disclose them. It's different thing.
we can't disclose them, but also we're not going to investors going, look at all these crazy projections we have. This is the reason why you should give us money. If anything, we're giving them the data and they're making their own projections from that process. But even that, we have to make sure we follow the regulations and not promise things to investors. I'm not promising you you're going to get rich tomorrow. Okay? I'm not promising you that you're going to get rich quickly. What I can promise is you're probably not going to get poor slowly. Does that make sense? I keep repeating this, but it's real. Okay? This is a place to put money to protect it. Smart money is putting their money there. Is to protect it using the security of commodities and the security of securities, the actual like regulatory protection that comes with that. It's a place to make it so that the banks don't steal your money. It's a place to generate an income that will become more efficient as we have more operations.
I totally believe you. It's just a matter of alternative cost, right? I can
Yeah.
invest my money into, for example, 100 other projects, right? So
Yeah.
why would I invest in
Yeah,
yours?
100%.
And to answer that question,
Yeah.
is all the numbers are required. What percentage is going to maintenance? What is the rent of investment of that mine? How
Exactly.
much you are, what is the taxation, etc., etc., etc.,
Yeah,
right?
so
Right.
that's a really good point. That we can't be like, this is the yield, or this is the return, or this is whatever, right? Because it's
you
all
have-
flexible according to these three things. It's flexible according to the price of commodities. It's flexible according to how many trucks we have, or how many processing plants we have on the site, and the number of operations that are running.
Yeah, but you're doing budgeting, right? When you're doing all that plan, you are like saying, okay, for yourself, not for me. When, like, for yourself, you
Yeah.
can, okay, we will do, if the percentage is like that, and you make a few scenarios, and then you are going
Exactly.
from there,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So you have other
Yeah.
choices to invest in, for sure. Understand the risks of this and balance out your portfolio and invest in it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Do you have a question? Nice. Here's another pro tip from crypto. If somebody says they'll pay you a certain amount every single month or every single year and they promise you stuff, run. Run for your life. The moment Luna was like, or UST was like, we'll give you 20% returns forever on your cash, and you're like, where's it coming from? And they're like, don't worry about it. Run. Okay? Anybody who's making you promises like this is the reason why people get scammed in this space. Real world value doesn't work like that. Real world value works by how much value you add is how much value you get back out. If you add more value, you'll get more value back out again. All right, any other questions? Yeah, can we get him a mic? No, mic it. Listen.
Okay, but just noticing you guys, and one question was why Indonesia? Why you're here in Indonesia? But the other thing was, so I got a teenager that vapes and spends a whole lot of time gaming, and I want to know about this gaming that he can make some money gaming and doing the things that he does. I mean,
So let's answer your first question first. Why Indonesia? Right? Are you asking why are we in Indonesia, or why are we doing this? Yeah. It's because in the same way that we're moving into the commodities and mining stuff ahead of time, 4, 5, 10, 20 years ahead of time, for me personally, I wanted to live in a place where I knew I could raise my kids in an environment that's conducive to them learning how to live in the way that I want the world to be. I was in Canada, successful, cried every week, once a week, and it was miserable. It's such a beautiful country, amazing place, amazing people, but that's not the environment I want to grow within. That's not the environment I want to raise children within, and that's not the environment I can affect change within. And those, Europe, North America, most of these countries, China, Russia, Japan, they're on their way down. Their populations are old. They're done with their development. They used all this old technology to build up their economies. They're in collapse. Indonesia the culture is just amazing. It's amazing, right? Balinese culture is like, it's a model for the world of how to structure society and how to really live from a place of love. It's a country that has 50 years of development ahead of it, where I can come and I can affect change in that development. And I can actually make sure I change stuff, and they actually listen. When we took this to the government, they went, come on down, have a seat, explain it to us. Try doing this in the US. They're like, how many billions of dollars did you invest into our lobbying? Otherwise, we're not having a conversation. You want to effect change? Get out of here with your effecting change stuff, right? So we're here because this is for the next 40 years, I don't see a better country to be in.
Plus 70% of young unproductive people.
Yeah, 70% young people under the age of 29, ready to go, hungry for these kind of things. And if you give them the ability to play games, you give them the ability to be able to invest in things, you give them the ability to be able to learn about this technology and participate and grow, that's going to create that exponential change 40, 50, 100 years down the road, right? Yeah. And the gaming thing, so
Maybe something on the side. I was just like, I've got my judgments about it all, and just hearing these guys, I thought, maybe there's.
yeah, I mean, this is part of the shifting of our understanding of value generation mechanisms. What is valuable, right? When you ask kids, go play with your friends, go out and play with your friends, they go, no, I'll go inside and I'll play with my friends. So it's valuable to them to go in this space and play and interact with people. We've just figured out a way to give that value back to them, so their time is actually paid for, not just suctioned by the game, right? So we will do more presentations around gaming. We'll go into details. We'll bring you the stuff. Right now is not the time you want to get your kids into gaming, all right?
Right now is actually the best time to educate them.
Exactly. Right now is the best time to educate them and get them familiar with the process. Yeah. But if you're interested, please reach out to us. Please reach out to Gozi. He's literally managing communities of thousands of Indonesians who are actually improving their lives in a real way by pulling value out. And that same thing applies to all of us. Like, think about all these things that we talked about, right? Think about which ones of them resonate with you, which one of them are part of your worldview, and they align with your vision and your mission, and incorporate them, right? Yeah, you might be doing X, Y, Z, great. Now there's a way that, like, hey, you might be looking to protect your money in a space that is not going to lose all of it, ideally not going to lose all of it. We have a space to put it. That's you adding value to people's lives, you'll get value added back. You hear about this gaming and you're like, that makes sense, that would add value to my son's life, and you bring him into that process. Or, like we're running these nodes, we're running blockchain nodes. So it's like, if you find somebody who could benefit from that and would like to not be constantly riding the roller coaster of crypto, we can get people into that. But it's these ways of, like, once you understand what's going on, it's a way of putting your money somewhere where it's reliably adding value to people's lives, and you're getting paid for that value that's being added to people's lives.
Will you be doing a tutorial on the nodes? Because I'm interested.
Will I be doing a tutorial on nodes?
Yeah, I have interest in the nodes, but I don't
It's
know
taken
anything
me
about it.
4 months to get it running in our fund, right? So what we're doing with the nodes is, like, we're pooling capital together, and we're investing into the nodes as a fund rather than people individually doing it. Otherwise, if I try to explain it to individuals, I'm not going to be doing anything else for X amount of time. Because, if you're running nodes in Indonesia, right, what you're actually doing is you're taking tokens, which are commodities under the regulations, and you're staking it onto a computer system, which are generating more tokens for you, and then you have to sell them, and you have to explain to the Indonesian government, hey, I bought commodities and I put them somewhere and they gave me more commodities, right? And they're like, what? How are you making this money? Right? So it's not just the process of just setting it up, right? You could just set it up yourself. Most of the nodes I looked at have gone to zero.
Well, I don't want to set it up myself.
Yep.
I want to invest in the one that you're doing.
So to that effect, we'll explain the details of it when that comes up, right? The way all of these things, all these different opportunities come up, is they're open for some period of time and then they close, right? So right now, Re's open, then it's going to close. Somewhere along the way, nodes will open. At that point, we'll educate about it again. You're part of our, like, internal community, so you're always welcome already. But we're not, even the nodes, we're not letting people invest unless they've done a strategy, unless they have a plan and they know what's the risk and what's the benefit and where does it fit into the bigger picture. Then you can come in. This isn't something we're opening up to the public for the nodes, but we will do tutorials, we will do explanations, and more presentations and all this kind of stuff. All right. Any final questions? Okay. All right. So thank you for you guys' time and energy. If you're interested in any of this, please reach out to us and we'll walk you through the process. From next time, we will start a series that will take you through the journey of investing in crypto. So it'll go right from overview. One time will be overview. Next time will be how how to understand risk and how to enter the markets, how to stay in the markets, how to exit the markets, what to do with your money, so on and so forth. So it'll be a series that educates you through that process. Thank you for your time.